And subscribers, patrons, hope you're having a wonderful day. I want to welcome you to the third installment of our Healing Your Body and Physical Body and Emotional Body. And I also want to welcome tonight three guests, Kelly Burke, Tammy Roller, and Christopher Briggs. We'll be bringing them on each at a time. But I want to just say to everybody that's watching this, tonight I have with me the energy of Archangel Raphael. And for those of you that are actually looking to heal emotional or physical pain, know that what's being transmitted from this broadcast will serve that purpose if you're willing to allow yourself to receive the energy that's being transmitted. So please be open and receptive to that. And I want to again say thank you for coming, and we'll start without further ado. Hi, Kelly. I want to bring Kelly on. Kelly, this is Kelly Burke. Kelly, glad you could make it. I know you got some really some time constraints, so I want to respect that. So I just want to, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah. Yes, just for everyone, I didn't think this was going to happen up until literally 20 seconds ago. So here goes nothing. I'm a Reiki master. I've been taught lots of different types of energy healing modalities. So I'm a little nervous right now. So bear with me. And so that's what I do. I am an energy healer, and I am trying to focus on mediumship abilities. And I'm all about healing work and learning what is out there. I love working with people, and I'm so excited for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
What started you on your healing journey, Kelly? What started this process of movement towards mediumship, towards healing? What was the starting point for you?
I ended up meeting a Reiki master at, I guess you would call a retreat to start over. Wasn't doing too well and just needed to regroup. And that's where I met a Reiki master. Now she's my best friend. Got into Reiki, and she herself is a medium. So that also, it was a huge thing because my dad came through, and it was just on from there. Sorry, what was the question again?
So you've experienced connecting to your people on the other side. You've experienced
yes.
guides and angels.
Yes, that is when I first had the Reiki. It was my body was going crazy, and I said, "What's happening? What are all these vibrations? I had never experienced anything like that." And so I was like, it was unlike anything I'd ever experienced, and I had gone to lots of people for therapeutic type of help, and this was unlike anything. And so the world of what's possible out there and what isn't being taught really mainstream, or what I was accustomed to, in my background of, all girls Catholic school education and stuff, this was not mediumship. It wasn't anything in my history or experience. So anyways,
what was your first experience with mediumship? Were you actually connected to was it your father first, or was it somebody else?
My dad, and it was with my mentor, who's now my best friend, Adrian. And it was there was nothing. I remember what really got me. I was wearing his shirt, and I changed out of it before, and I said, "Sorry, Dad, I hope you're not mad. I'm changing out of your shirt." And I was on her Reiki table, and she said, "Your dad just said he's happy you changed out of his shirt. He knows that you wear that for comfort, but he likes to see you in something new." And so I was like, okay, you just can't make this stuff up.
That's very true, isn't it? Wow. So you're that really opened the door for you. Have you connected to other beings, guides, angels, anything else since then?
Oh yeah. The other thing she said is, because I had transformed my life so much, she said she saw my dad running around the room high-fiving angels and saying, "That's my girl." Yeah. So I was just like, I just cried my eyes out, because it was just something so beautiful. I couldn't even create an image like that. So yes, and then that is when galactic stuff came in, and we're like, what in the world? I was on her table, and she said, the Arcturians have a message, and we knew nothing about other types of beings or anything. It was just Jesus, Catholicism, and angels, that type of thing. Yeah. So yeah, lots of researching of that. And the whole thing has always been focusing on healing. So even with mediumship and channeling and stuff, it's really been about healing. Um, yeah.
What sort of healing have you experienced through mediumship? Like what were some of the things through Reiki, through mediumship? What were some of the experiences physically, emotionally for you?
So I have been focusing on, I took a course with Charlie Goldsmith. I'm not sure if anyone is familiar with his work, but it was really focusing on physical pains, diseases, disorders, things that you would think wouldn't have a cure or would take lots of time to heal from. And when I joined the community, I had people, I said, I can work on you, we can practice. And by the end of the session, people's pains would be gone. They would be asleep in minutes. And so I thought it was really fascinating. And that's what shifted me from just working on a, relaxation, getting people calm on a Reiki bed, to actually thinking and believing that we can remove much more physical pain and things that people can't think is cured in an instant. Wow. And through this mediumship course, I have been able to work on Randita, her heart. And after that, she said her heart pain was gone. And so this course did help me meet other people and build my confidence in what we're all capable of doing.
Was that the mediumship? Was that our mediumship masterclass 102 or 101?
In reference to when I did the healing on her?
Yeah.
It was 104, just in the last month.
Right. Just so anybody watching, we have a mediumship mastery class program. It has 4 levels to it, and she had this healing experience in the 4th. How did you find out about our courses in class? Like, what got you to us? Like, how did we get connected?
So I was in another mediumship type course, and I met Lindsay Ryan, and we were doing kind of a reading with each other, and she mentioned your name, and I'm not yet clairaudient. I hear vibrations and sounds and stuff like that, which is greatly developed with your courses. But whenever I feel a hit, I know I have to do something. And so she told me your name, and I said, I know I was going to do it. And I had signed up, and she messaged me and said, my guides are telling me you have to take this course. And so I was like, I just signed up. And so, yeah, it's changed my life in every way possible. There hasn't been one thing that has been untouched. It's affected everything in the most beautiful way. And I can't thank you enough, and all the people involved to make this happen.
I got to say, Kelly, I would just, for anybody watching, I like to refer to you as the person that's got unlimited questions. And I'm so grateful. You brought so much to the class with your inquisitiveness and your inquiring, because we channel the Ascended Masters during the course, come through and they speak and they teach us all in these courses. And Kelly was fearless in asking them questions upon questions upon questions. And I think that was really amazing for all of us, because it allowed people to really see that you don't have to be afraid whether you're an Ascended Master or your neighbor next door. You do not have to be afraid to ask questions. And there's always going to be an answer provided that makes sense. Did you find that your questions were answered?
Oh, absolutely. And sometimes they weren't even what I thought the answer was going to be. Like, I remember one time I said, whatever I was asking, you said, well, it doesn't matter. What if we just, what if we said whoever got it offered that to them, or it didn't matter. It was just like a higher level of a response. It wasn't even like A or B, it was a C. And it was like, it was just on a whole other level. And it just really made you think about, there's such other greater perspectives out there, and that if you don't know it, you don't know it. And so sometimes you really do have to take courses to learn higher wisdom.
Yeah.
So, the questions I remember in the beginning, I was like, I had a lot of questions and I didn't want to be a nuisance. But then I remember I said, the only thing I regretted, even though I don't have regrets, is that I didn't ask more questions. And so that was my thing. I said, I'm just going to keep asking questions. And since the last class ended a few weeks ago, I've been having a tough time, because I've had so many questions and haven't had you to provide such wonderful insight. So it's made me really appreciate the time that we have together.
Oh, we're so grateful to have you. I'm so grateful that you're able to take time out of your schedule to join us. Where do you see this work leading you? Like what you've developed and learned from this, where do you see it leading you?
Well, it's funny because this course, it's mediumship, but it's really just a massive foundation for expansion on all levels. And so I feel like there's a lot of life coaching involved, and I can't help but not kind of add a little stuff. And so when I've had people come around, I'll add input, and I can't help it. And so I'm like, but the function of love is unity. One line you had channeled. And so it's kind of like people I'm sure are looking at me like, what's happening, when you say lines that people don't usually hear, but that's something I really need to work on, applying this stuff to the everyday person. I kind of forget the question, but I kind of remember it.
Oh no, you got it. I do.
What I would like to do is work on clients with healing and like the physical, like the emotional, everything, because it's all tied together, of course. But then bring through messages, talk to people who've crossed over, and other multidimensional beings, galactics, whatever is out there. I mean, there's so much we don't know about. So yeah. I'm curious.
Yeah. For those of you watching on the screen right now, if you want to get a hold of Kelly, you can get a hold of her through her Instagram channel, Healing with Kelly Burke on Instagram. Yeah. You can connect to her through that. Kelly, I'm so grateful, and I understand. Is it true you're coming back to us for another course?
Of course. I have a total fear of missing out now that every course, it's really just so different, and it's really unbelievable. So if anyone is listening, I highly recommend taking this course. It's the most life-changing thing I've ever done.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kelly. Do you want to add anything else to this? Is there anything else you want to share with the people watching?
Just keep asking questions. Always just keep asking questions. And really, if you found yourself listening to this, I really recommend taking his courses, and you can ask all the questions you have.
I also want to thank Kelly. Thank you so much. I want to add to this that these courses are channeled works. These are information and knowledge brought through by ascended masters, multidimensional beings, Pleiadians. Humanity is just reaching a point now where it's beginning to conceive that there's other things beyond itself. We got the invisible realm of thought, the invisible realm of emotion. There are these other beings that are on a realm or a frequency that you have to attune your awareness to perceive. And they downloaded these courses through us, and we've been teaching them now for almost 3 years. And they bring beautiful people like Kelly along, and Chris and Tammy. We're so blessed, and so many others. And watching the healing. And also, if you're just joining us now, there's the energy of Archangel Raphael has been being transmitted through this broadcast. And even if you're getting the recorded version of it, the energy is still going to be imparted in the medium. So please be open to receiving the energy from this so that you can be altered physically and emotionally in a constructive and uplifting way. What was the statement you used a couple moments ago, Kelly? The function of love,
unity.
Yeah, and I believe that wholeheartedly. When they first said that, I was like, wow.
I think you might have said it was Kuan Yin, but I really don't remember.
Yeah,
well, I'm not positive on that one.
Well, I believe that was Kuan Yin that had said that. But again, there are many different masters that have come through the courses over the years. And again, if you want to connect to your guides and your angels, you can easily do that through this program. And you got a support system with students and others. Kelly, I know you. I think you have to scoot now.
I'm on vacation. I have plans right now, or else I'd stick around. But I thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. I know at the vacation time. Thank you so much. I want to wish you much love, and we'll see you, I guess, in the next few weeks sometime.
All right. Bye.
Love you, darling. Bye-bye. Wow, that was amazing. I gotta love that. Kelly's one of our newer students, and she's probably asked more questions than anybody else single-handedly in the span of 9 weeks. Because we run a series of courses in 3-week intervals. So we run 3 weeks, and then we're off for a week, and then we run another 3 weeks, and we're off for a week. Gives time people to catch up and work with each other through the course. But she asked more questions than anybody else I've ever experienced in the course. It was the most amazing. And I think she brought a lot to the table with us. And again, I want to say thank you, Chris and Tammy, for coming tonight. Tammy, I'm
Yes.
so glad that you were able to come tonight, because I know you had a lot of energy around this. So I'm really grateful you're bringing that to us.
Thank you.
People don't realize that when we're faced with new and exciting situations that are outside what we normally experience or express, that your energy changes. It changes. And a part of you that's used to being a certain way will go, wait, I don't like this. And then another part of you goes, wait, but I want to know what this is. And the minute you allow your resistance to the energy to be liberated, you grow and you change. And again, I know that I really appreciate you coming on such short notice, Tammy, because I just reached out today. Same with Chris. I reached out to him this morning. That's just the way they told me to do it. They said, don't let people think about it. Let them be about it. And hopefully that's what you're going to. Tammy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you drew you to the courses and what you're going to be doing with the work as you go forward?
Okay. Let's see, back in 2018, I started waking up, and I didn't have any guidance. I learned on YouTube everything I could of all the things happening. I was like seeing visions and experiencing astral travel that I wasn't doing. My guides were doing for me, and contact with my guides. And it was really, really nerve-wracking to learn this all on your own. And I took a course with Kelly back in March, I think it was. And we stayed in contact, and she told me about your course. And I said, well, I want to go. So I signed up the day before that 102 class started. And then my camera didn't work because my computer broke down. So I was on not a laptop, but a regular computer, and I didn't have a camera. So I spent the first week or two doing your course without any camera.
I remember that, and I remember how much you were struggling with that, and I could feel you at one point. You wanted to just kind of run away, and you stuck it out, and you got the camera, and you got that all sorted out.
Yeah, I did everything through the typing and messaging, but you guys couldn't see me, but I could hear you guys. But it's been absolutely incredible. I found out the minute I took your course after that first week, you know what I'm going through. That is a real thing, what I am living and seeing and experiencing. And that validation was life-changing for me. I just, it's real. This is happening. Everybody, we are ascending. We are being contacted. Our guides are really doing these things with us. And the love is incredible. We're ascending, and it's just, don't fight it. Enjoy the ride. It's beautiful. It's, and Mike Williams' course is just absolutely the perfect timing for me. My guides had asked me to do a mediumship course for like 6 months. And I thought, I don't want to be a medium. Why would I do that? And I just put it off. And then I did that course with Kelly, and it kind of snowballed. Yeah. And I'm so grateful I did, because it grounded me into everything that I've been doing on my own. I now have a guidance. I now know what's going on, what it's called, all the clairs. It's just been making it real. It's not just my imagination. This stuff is really, really happening. And the synchronicities are incredible. And meeting people that are like me out there, you don't tell your family. None of my family knows any of this. It's not something you can bring up with very many people. And these courses brought me among people like me. And that was really, really a big deal for me to be able to have that communication and contact.
It's really great. You bring up a really good point there, Tammy. There's a lot of people that are doing this on their own. People that get labeled as crazy, or even people that think they themselves are crazy because they're perceiving or seeing or hearing different things. And there's no educational framework in our educational system that teaches people how to know who they are. What are these visions? What are these things? What are these voices?
Right.
They get labeled as crazy, they get institutionalized, they get drugged. This is a time of ascension, and And I'm really grateful that you said that you felt you were doing this on your own. You were struggling for a long time. You came to this place of realizing you're not crazy. You're not insane. These are actual realities in different frequencies of consciousness that you can now perceive and acknowledge and accept.
Yeah, it's a beautiful blessing, and I loved it so much. I'm going through the courses all over again. I just finished the 104, and so I'm going to start all over again. I'm going to the 102 and skipping the 101. But yeah, I'm back.
And we're glad to have you back.
Thank you.
I want to ask you a question. One of the first things I remember you had asked somebody, I forget who was channeling through at the time, but you'd asked about, you said you had a problem with chocolate. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I liked it. You can tell. But you did a meditation with me, and you had me talk to my body, and that I didn't need the chocolate, to release that need, and to you walked me through that during a class. And then when I came back, I think the next day I talked to you about it, or no, it was a couple of days later, and I tried a piece of chocolate, and it didn't taste good at all. I was like, oh my God, this is great. But, I gave in to the urge, and I was like, I don't want it anymore. I don't even think about it anymore. And it was, that is a healing that I've been praying for. And it's just like the courses you guys do with the food, the menus with Chico, that is incredible too. And you're not only taking care of your spiritual self, you're taking care of your body and what it needs to do this ascension, because there's no going back. We are doing this, guys, and it's going to happen. So you might as well take care of yourself the best way you can, so it's easier for you. I'm fighting this weight thing, and it's, I feel like I'm way behind everybody on the, bodily health thing. I do have lupus, and that doesn't help, but I just live around that. But I laugh a lot. I'm very happy. I have a lot of joy, and this really has come out a lot since your courses, because I would sit for hours just going through all the things I'm going through, these visions. Where are they from? Who are they? Why is these things flying around in my face? I knew there was something going on because I saw enough on YouTube to go ahead and, to learn about it. And then, one, I thought, okay, this is my third eye working here. That's what this is. And then I would figure out, okay, this is what, these visions, these are, I'm going down in the tunnels in the earth, and I'm going, up to different planets. And, that's really scary when you don't know what's going on. And there is a place you can go. And Williams his courses are exactly what I needed to ground myself and get, figure this out. And it's been beautiful, beautiful.
I'm glad you mentioned the clairs. I mean, a lot of people don't realize they have clairvoyant experience, clairaudience experience, where you're hearing voices, you're seeing visions, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, where you just suddenly know something, you feel something. And these are actual physical senses we were all born with. We're born with them, they're natural, innate. But we've become so focused and directed by the environment around us to become sense-based, like physical sense-based, sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell, that we never really developed those other senses, but they're still there wanting to work. And I've watched that with a lot of you, where those clairs have opened up. Your clairvoyance was always very strong. Your clairsentience and your claircognizance, all these things get opened up in this program. You learn to tap into, access, alter, and change. And I'm glad you mentioned Chico's work too, because Chico Lemosa de Barbosa, who does our Sun Food, runs a program called Sun Food Living. I'll put a link in the box below on my YouTube channel. And his program will help anybody transition from old, painful, damaging eating to live, vibrant, healthy, living foods. Literally, what's called Sun Food Living. And literally, you'll be blown away at how quickly and easily you can transition without any pain or suffering. There's no, oh my God, I gotta have that. That's all gone.
Yeah.
And he's developed a program that does that. Yeah, that made a big difference for you, didn't it?
Oh yeah, it's like, yeah, it's so funny. I told you about this, William. My refrigerator broke down and my freezer did. The fridge is fine, and my freezer broke down. I had all this meat in there, and I like meat, but all of that melted, thawed out, and it turned bad, and I had to throw it all out. And now I'm full of these frozen fruits and these smoothie mixes, and it's just been, and I thought, well, they're going to make me do it. My guides are going to make me change my diet. I They've had enough of of my eating whatever I wanted, and they took control. And that's funny because your guides will do that. They'll make it happen even if you don't want it to.
Yeah.
Or they force you, and then it's funny because like coming up here.
That literally happened right at the very beginning, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it was the 102. It was the end of the 102 or the beginning of the 103 that it happened, and I thought, oh my God.
I remember it was during the 102, and I remember you because you sent me a message, or you said it, brought it up in class, said my fridge broke down, and you can't ignore that kind of advice. A lot of people don't realize that the food you eat changes the vibrational frequency of your body. Please understand this. What food you put in your body alters the frequency it functions at. And when you're eating food that's cooked and boiled and processed, you're literally lowering the frequency of your body. And that can put you vibration in alignment with lower vibrational entities. When you raise the vibration of your body with live, vital, vibrant, living foods, you raise your frequency up and you begin to perceive different vibrational energies at that level. It's very powerful and very simple. And I'm glad you brought that to front.
Yeah.
About that.
Once all the food was, the fridge worked, but the freezer didn't. And they brought a repairman out, and he couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. And then like the next day after I got rid of all the food in the freezer, it came on again. It started. I'm like, okay.
And it's been fine since?
Yeah. There's a lot of fruit in there, frozen bags of fruit and stuff for smoothies.
I love this mystical world where the mystical is natural. It's not some woo, it's natural. Where things
it's
happen.
Real.
Yeah, you're being guided, you're being directed.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. So I'm so grateful. I'm going to look forward to seeing you in our the next round too. It's going to be very exciting.
I know.
Again, if anybody watching, please feel free to ask questions. And anybody that's here would be more than happy to address your questions or concerns. Tammy, thank you for your story. Where do you see yourself being in a couple of years with this work and this awareness?
Well, I had this thought in my head for so long, and what I want to do is create a community for the hybrid children and the families of the star families to meet and greet the human side of these hybrid children, where both sides of the families can come together and have they can meet their mother, their dad, their human parent, or their, star family parent, and create a connection between them. Because, we got two different families going on with, a child, because there are hybrid children out there. Yeah. And they, and I believe that's where I'm being led to communicate.
How can people get in touch with you if they want to get engaged in that project with you?
Just Tammy.roller, ROLLER @gmail.com.
Wonderful. So that's Tammy, TAMMIE,
right,
ROLLER @gmail.com. If you want to get involved in this project that she's getting ready to venture on with helping these starseed children, it's a wonderful project. I know that's actually a thing on this world right now. There are a lot of, I won't say disowned, I would just say wandering. A lot of star children wandering around on uncertainty, and certainly there's no need for that. Wow. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
Question. Is the program friendly for busy moms? How does this help moms in their journey? That's from Marjorie, I believe. It's an amazing question, and thank you for that. It helps because it teaches you as a parent how your emotional energy influences, affects, and interacts with your children. So it's not just your thoughts that affect your children, but the emotion you feel that can influence and cultivate their behavior. It'll create greater harmony, greater joy, greater closeness and connectivity between parents and children, whether mother or father. If you're a single mom or if you're a mom with multiple children, you develop a system of self-awareness that lets you and your children live in a harmony that you create as a matter of intention, not a matter of chance. Because emotion is what directs our relationships. The energy between us is what directs what occurs with us as parents and children, as friends, even as any level. That's what humans do. We share energy. But that's a great question. Thank you for that, Marjorie. I really appreciate that. Wow.
Thank you, Brenda.
Yeah, thank you, Brendita. Well, now, Chris, there's Tammy's email address for everybody. Hi, Chris. Thank you so much for coming live with us tonight. I'm so grateful that you were able to put some time aside. Again, I was guided to call you last minute. Tell us, Chris, I think that we've known you the longest of the people we've had on the panels, with the exception of perhaps Drusilla. And it's great to have you here. Tell us a bit about yourself, what your journey's been, and what you're up to right now.
Christopher Briggs, aka the Spirit Channel, light worker, spiritual medium, emotional energies coach, mediating 2 Facebook groups. One is called the Emotional Energy Healers. The other one is called the Spiritual Channel. Both of them together, close to 4K following. The Spiritual Channel's got the most. Yeah, we go back a ways. I think it was somewhere a summer of 2019.
Yep.
I'd started my first courses, graduated after 6 months mediumship training. I took all of them twice, all 3 twice. And since then, I've got the groups now, but it took me a little time to get that vision together. And so far, the Emotional Energy Healers has been up and going for a year now. And I've changed the curriculum, and I've been getting my curriculum now through Spirit rather than it's definitely from above. It's the ideas that are coming in, the organization of how I'm putting together this program. I've manifested or co-created a 5-step program that is guaranteed to lower your emotional energy, should you follow these steps. And they're pretty broad. I think when you get down to the intricate parts of doing the healing on yourself, you break it down into more steps than 5. But the first one's awareness, acceptance, allowance, forgiveness, willingness. And
when we first met, where were you in consciousness then? Because you're in a completely new place. You're like 180 degrees from where you were, if I remember correctly. Can you tell a bit about that starting point for you, where you were?
I was awakened November 2018 with bald head, goatee, and 5.5 hits of acid, LSD, in my system. And through the month of November, I went through some very, very interesting things. I saw spirit, and I started to work with how to move energy and put protection shields up. And I actually created a scenario where I took LSD, or the effects of LSD, out of our bodies by simply asking for protection from Archangel Micheal. And that really, started to kind of get me in the right area. So then after that, a friend of mine at work was my guide, and she gave me this video of Christian Davies. And at the time, Christian Davies was like, I was watching a lot of her stuff because I was really resonating with it. So she says, here, watch this video. And she gives me this video, and it's how to sense your inner spirit. So I'm watching it, and I start feeling this sensation in my stomach. And I mean, literally my stomach feels like it's doing this, but when I lift my shirt, it's flat. There's no movement on the outside, but there's something going on inside my stomach. And I'm freaking out. I mean, let me tell you, I am freaking out. And I stopped the video. And the next morning, I did a little prayer meditation, and I asked Spirit. I said, I don't know what that was, but something told me, because I had heard about reptilians being in the stomach, that maybe I had some negative entities or some reptilians in there that needed to come out. It didn't take more than a couple minutes. It took from the time I put a shirt on and walk out to the kitchen, start making my lunch. I threw on my Bluetooth speaker and I started playing Herb Alpert, the song called Rise. And right when the song kicked in is when the energy really kicked up. And what was happening was, when the music started, it started trickling down the back of my spine. And it didn't feel like much at first, but it kept flowing, and it kept flowing and filling up my body and filling up my body. And I'm like, wow, this is getting pretty intense. And it filled all the way up to like my eyeballs. And all of a sudden, the joy, the love, the sensation was so incredible. I could not hold back the tears any longer. And not that I was even trying to hold them back. And I cried so much of joy and love that my shirt was soaking wet. I had to change my shirt. I couldn't wear it. And 2 weeks, like up until that time, before I started any of this awakening or any of that, I was suicidal. I was severely depressed, and thoughts of murder and suicide based on paranoid delusions of being followed from things that legal activity that I was involved with. I mean, I was just really, really not anywhere that I am now. So yeah, that's why I came in. No hair, goatee, whatever. And well, anyway, so then back to what happened with the cleansing. So 2 weeks goes by after that event. And like I said, the energy to this day, I've not felt anything even close to it. I after like 2 weeks, I was on my way to work and I was wondering, what happened? Because I'm no longer suicidal anymore. I don't think about those thoughts. I'm suddenly not as angry about stupid little things, like something would not go in that right way, and I, end up breaking it, trying to get it in there because of the frustration. Just silliness. That was gone. There was no more of that. And I was like, something happened. That day, I had changed. I am not that same person like that anymore. And then the thoughts of suicide were basically gone too. And I asked Spirit, what happened that day? Was there something about that day that, was it a cleansing or something like that? And right then I was prompted to look over in the diner window, and there was a sign, and it was during Christmas time because I was awakened in November, and it said, Jesus is the reason for the season. And I focused on Jesus and instantaneously knew right then and there I was cleansed by Jesus. Yeah. And then I was also given my mission. So every day for a week after the cleansing, I would listen to the radio on the way home, and it always played Linkin Park. And I would, out of nowhere, and I'd only drive like 10 to 15 minutes to get home. And I always left work at different times. So it wasn't like, oh, well, yeah, the same radio station might just be playing that same artist at that time of the day or something. No, it was different stations, different songs. It was always Linkin Park, and it was always on my way home from work. And finally, after I thought, I said, this was after Chester Bennington, who they're all kind of linked to me in some way, shape, or form. Chris Cornell is the former lead singer of Soundgarden, who committed suicide right here in Detroit. And that day that he committed suicide was the day that Chester Bennington committed suicide on the day that Chris Cornell would have turned his next age, like his following birthday that Chris Cornell would have had he not committed suicide, was the day that Chester Bennington committed suicide. So I had like this thing with suicide in Lincoln Park because, you know, I was really bummed. I wanted to see him. I had plans to go see them live right here in Michigan. So I think that might have been why they used that as a way of communicating to me that, you know, suicide prevention was something that I needed to get into. And as soon as I came to that realization, there was no more Lincoln Park being played after work. The message had gotten through. So that was probably my introduction to getting to spirit. And then my guide from work further was talking about mediumship. And I said, that sounds interesting to me. And I had a drive for it. And I said, you know what? I think for me to help others, I need to talk to spirit. And that's when I said I need to get into mediumship training. So then I signed up with Christian Davies. And at the time, you were teaming up with her. Something with her family went down, or for family reasons, she wrote me and said that she couldn't be a part of it and gave me the money back. So I thought that was it. And I was a little bummed. I was like, man. And then here's William, hey, we got the program. We're still running it, this and that, yada, yada. And at the time I was moving, because the place I was living at was really negative energy. And that's where I was awakened. And there was something about the protection spell that I did that kept some of them spirits out. And I guess spirit said, that's enough. We're going to get you to where you don't have to have that protection spell. And I call it a spell back then, but I just basically put an energy barrier over the house and protected with Archangel Michael. And looking back at it, it was all mystical and all this and that. But, now with what we know, we just call for it. We ask for it. We get, we ask, we receive. That's it. There's no secret password or secret handshake or something,
So what did signing up with our courses, or how did that change the direction of things for you? What did that do for you?
So it gave me all the tools I needed to do my mission. Clearly given a mission to work in emotional energy healing, with suicide, whatever, I needed that next step to, learn more about spirit, and then and then I didn't really know what was happening throughout my past. It was like I call it my arena now. All right. Yeah. And this is what I practice in. I practice in my arena, and I get to learn in my arena. And what I learned is that my past was a training session for the arena that I'm in now. And what I've learned through the mediumship, and it's not just what I had to do to get to that point, but I had to heal myself even further so that I could heal others.
Yeah. And
I'm finding out that I still need to heal myself even further now. I'm always having to do something.
But never ends.
It's right. And that's what I was just going to say. It does never end. Why would it end? Because we would have no reason to be here, or we would have completed what we came here to accomplish.
Yeah.
So
you're still healing.
Right. I'm always healing. I'm always moving up and learning different things. But what I needed was that first big step into something that was really going to make some changes. And first thing I started doing was growing hair. The next thing I started doing was cleaning up the rest of my diet. At the time, I had found out that I had to go and I was already giving up red meat, but then I found out I had to go vegan. So I'm like, okay, well, once I finish up what meat I have, I'll start working on substitutions and transition over. And then I found out I had to give up sugar. Man, no, time out. Wait a minute. That didn't work for me. It was a tough addiction. I mean, I'd given up LSD, MDMA, cigarettes, alcohol. Alcohol was that easy. I just, I had an experience on Thanksgiving Day night, and I said, that's it. I'm done with alcohol. My body is not meant for that. And never touched a drop again. And I won't ever touch a drop again. I have no desire for that experience anymore.
One of the things I love about you, Chris, is you've taken the work and you've created a whole teaching, and you're helping other people. You got the suicide squad. There's all kinds of things that you've been doing that's just been amazing.
I actually transitioned the suicide squad into the emotional energy healers. And another thing that you've taught us is that there's, the energy is the energy. So negative energy is negative energy. And what I found out was that the label of suicide was limiting the amount of participants in my group. So I decided that I'm going to keep suicide prevention as something we're going to work with, but I'm going to open the umbrella up and call it emotional energy healers, and then, teach everyone self-healing and bringing them consciousness, the shift that brings up our energies, because we're not thinking in ways of a lack of forgiveness or a lack of acceptance, or attaching ourselves to things that are bringing on more negativity. And then on top of all that, all this other things that I learned from you was, the diet, how, like you were just talking about, how to raise up your vibrations by simply changing your diet. So I've learned a lot of other things, like, how to create challenges through. So I created challenges and through the things that I've done. So like when I used to say hate all the time. I mean, horribly. And everything was, oh, I hate that. Oh, I hate that. Oh, I hate that. Oh, it was bad. So I had to come up with a way to get rid of hate. And I said, you know what? I'm going to replace the word hate with the word love. And I would say, oh, I love it when you do that. And I didn't care. I didn't care how ridiculous it sounded, because it felt ridiculous at first. It was just ridiculous. So finally, after maybe a year, along with now my third round of Course in Miracles, and I'm doing it like on my own now. I was using the YouTube and this and that. Now I'm doing it on my own. And it's just totally, sometimes I totally.
Yeah. Well, they keep saying to me quite frequently, they say this course is not just about healing the body and healing our emotions. Those are very important foundational components of it. But it's also about training trainers. There are like 1 billion to 2 billion people waking up on this planet right now. This movement's called Ascension, where the vibrational energy is available for us to raise our frequency up or lower it down. And the ones that are waking up, like Tammy was describing earlier, where she's seeing things and she's on her own, she's hearing things. There's no system of training, or at least not many of them out there, that teach you how to work with that energy and open up those things. And then once you learn these things, you can then teach others how to do that. And they said that's the primary function of this course, is to train trainers, to train trainers. So we have an ascension network that allows people to lift everybody else up. And I love that you got like 4,000 people in your groups now, and you're working with that number. That's really amazing, and that's going to trickle out and trickle out and trickle out. What's next on your docket? What's next in the pipes for you?
I'm working on a book. I'm going to call it the Emotional Energy Healers Handbook. It's going to coincide with the Facebook group. Then I got another book that I've been working on for quite some time. I'm finished. I kind of was going to work on that first because it's mostly done, and the artwork got really expensive. And with some of the bills that I've accumulated recently, because I had to get a new vehicle and stuff like that, I kind of put that to the side, and I'm going for the Emotional Energy Healers handbook, and I'm going to start writing that and focus on that, and then hopefully get the revenues from that to get the artwork money that I'm going to do with the poetry book. The poetry book has to have artwork, because I have this vision of it, and without that artwork, I just fear it's going to suffer, and then I might have to redo it again anyway. So I don't want to.
I wouldn't worry too much about it. You got Metatron working with you on that book. Like, he's really like behind you on that.
Yeah. So the Emotional Energy Healers Handbook, I'm going to have the 5-step program in there, and a lot of different write-ups that I've done as far as like, the roller coaster, the ego, a couple others, and then some write-ups that I did about Course in Miracles. There's the challenges, the 5-step program. And then I need to, illustrate or at least explain how these things work and how I use this program. And I also used it with A Course in Miracles. So I don't ever say, yeah, all you need is the 5-step program. I always suggest, hey, the Course in Miracles is a highly suggested course of study during this any participation in the group of Emotional Energy Healers. But
Yeah, it's a very powerful book. I know I've glimpsed at it. Master Jesus has penned that himself through somebody else. That was a channeled work. I hope you guys will avail yourself. Of Course in Miracles, you can search that. It's a wonderful program. It's a self-learning school, but there's lots of groups and stuff. But I hope if you've been paying attention, you'll see up on the screen that links for Chris to get a hold of any of your groups, or you can connect with him is there. And then, we are at a very powerful time in our evolution as a species. There's a collective consciousness that we are all part of, and we really, I love your term of switching the word hate out for the word love. So nothing can go wrong that way. It's always going to be love, and that's what we need to just saying the word love creates and emanates a field that alters and changes not only the cell consciousness in your body, it changes things around you. And like Chris and Tammy and Kelly and many others have gone through this learning curve that we're all in right now, whether you're in our program or somebody else's. This is the time of ascension. Human consciousness is evolving beyond physical sensorial being the only exclusive reality. There are multi-dimensions of perception and reality, not only the physical one. Someone also asked a question, is this course friendly for children? Yes, we've had many parents have their children in the rooms while they're doing the lessons. And you'd be amazed at what happens in those family systems. The kids change. The energy, it's the most magical thing to watch, how children respond to the energies that come through these ascended masters that come through our program. But again, Chris and Tammy, I want to thank you both so much for coming out tonight. For those who are interested in our courses or experiencing them firsthand, we have our Mediumship 101 Masterclass that begins this coming Friday. I encourage you to go register at my website, williammichaelforbes.com, courses. You can see the information up on the screen there. And also, our following courses are 101, 102, 103, 104. They're all master classes that will take you from simple biological self-awareness to recognizing you are a divine entity, divine consciousness, able to alter, change, transform, and transmute time, space, and matter through an act of your consciousness. And again, I want to thank everybody who's come out tonight and experienced this to whatever degree you have. I want to wish you all much love. And again, yes, Chris, you want to say something?
There was a note that I saw that there was one of the viewers willing to help out with my artwork. So, if I could just give out my email address, emotionalenergyhealers@gmail.com. And I would be more than, I'd really love to hear what.
That's Drusilla. I can send you her email address, Chris.
Okay, awesome.
And you can put her. But thank you, Drusilla, for offering that.
Yeah. Really. I really.
When you get involved in this work, you become part of a community that's becoming a global phenomenon. Ascension is a real thing. And the way the sun is functioning right now, it's elevating our consciousness. And that energy from the sun can be used in only two ways, positive or negative. Learn, get engaged in a community into vibrational frequencies of love and joy, of compassion, kindness, playfulness. Come join our courses. They will make you move in that direction. You'll have no choice but to go in that direction. You will. I assure you. If you come in and you're in a place of darkness or suffering, you will find the light through these ascended masters and the beings that work through and with us. I want to wish everybody much love and thank you so much for coming out and joining us. Tammy, thank you so much for joining us. Chris,
thank you.
Oh, and Con, thank you. Where are you? There you are. Thank you, Con Knight, who's been managing the production side of this for the last 2 nights. Con, thank you so much. I'm watching all the screens changing, and I'm just going, wow. Thank you so much. And to all the students and the people that came out and supported these events, thank you guys so much. You're awesome. Kelly, thank you. If you're hearing this still, thank you for coming out. And all the other people that came on to the last 3 days, thank you. I want to wish everyone out there much love. And please remember, Raphael's transmitting healing energy through this broadcast tonight. So I hope you've received it. Watch it over again if you want to receive it again. Be open and receptive to it. And again, thank you so much. Much love, everybody. Have yourselves a wonderful and a joyful day. Bye.
Much love.